Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the Friday Night Chop Session with Stormybman for this Friday, March 1st, 2024. This is number 236 in the series of Chop Sessions. And we're calling this one The Real Deal Returns in San Juan. Yeah, that's a nod toward Amanda Serrano, the Real Deal featherweight champion of the world, unified featherweight champion of the world, as she will put her titles on the line this weekend, tomorrow night in San Juan, her home country, where she will take on Nina Mienke. 12 3-minute rounds of championship boxing in the women's division. This will be Amanda's second fight in a row where she fights in defense of her titles for 12 3-minute rounds. And the only reason that she is no longer undisputed is because she gave up the WBC title because the WBC did not want to sanction her fight as a 12-round, 3-minute championship fight in the women's division of boxing. We all know that typically the women's fights are 2-minute rounds, 10-minute round limit. And Amanda is trying to set a new precedent and hoping that her contemporaries will follow suit as the women look to gain higher ground in their sport, which could also open up more consideration for pay, as well as the competitive factor that will separate the top fighters from those who have not necessarily progressed to that top level. You know, when you're operating within 2-minute rounds, just as you're starting to get cooking, the round is over. Some of the fighters who have knockout records, like Amanda has over 30 knockouts on her record, but if she had 3-minute rounds to work with, she may have far more than what she has been able to accomplish to this point in her career. So it's really a lot to think about. It's a little bit controversial, but not so much, because there are others, just like Michaela Mayer, a former champion who, when her recent challenge for Natasha Jonas's title, she was trying to convince the Jonas camp to consider 12 3-minute rounds. And seeing how that fight turned out, I can understand why the Jonas camp did not want the 3-minute rounds, because Natasha was really hanging on by a thread by the time that bout came to its conclusion, and Michaela Mayer had begun to really take over in that fight. So here we are this Friday, and there's also another broadcast that will be on ESPN Plus, where Raymond Ford is going to be challenging for a title against Oktebek and Kolmatov. And this guy, Oktebek, is a strong fighter, another fighter from Kazakhstan, heavy-handed, and Raymond Ford, who has been coming along quite nicely on ESPN. These two will come together, and I'm telling you, You may want to tune in to this one as well, because it's not necessarily a shoe-in for Raymond Ford. I did breakdown videos for both fights, and one premiered today. The other will premiere tomorrow morning for the Raymond Ford fight. So if you haven't checked the video of Amanda out yet, please do so. It premiered this afternoon. Check it out. You could get Stormy's take on what he thinks going to happen in that fight. And tomorrow morning will be the Raymond Ford Octobah breakdown. So please support the channel and tune in for those videos as we get ready for another weekend of rumbling. Yeah. So welcome everybody out there. We're going to go to the chat and see who we've got in the building with a roll call this evening. I've been off pretty much this week from the live streams, but have put in the work vigilantly to get the videos out. So, you know, sometimes you got to pull back in one area to get the other area going. And that's what I had elected to do. Once again, always trying to produce the content here on the channel. It's just that, you know, sometimes the old guy gets a little weary. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been able to stop my full-time job, so it's like I have to find places to rest. Don't think that I'm just quitting or setting it down. Like, no, I'm just trying to find some spots and all the while still provide content. I think I released more videos this week than I have in a regular week ever. So I'm just working. I'm still doing it, trying to do it as best I can. So just know that, you guys. See who we got out here. We got Mr. Shelton out there. What's going on with you, Mr. Shelton? Champion Heart is in the building. What's happening with you, Champion Heart? No Smoke TV is with us this evening. And Champion Heart says, I can't jump in the chat tonight, brother. Working right now, but I'm definitely listening. Hit the like button, people. Thank you for that. My man Healer, the teacher, is back saying salute. He says she lost that fight. 704 Joe is in the building as well saying peace. What's good with you? 704. So yeah, man, we're coming into another weekend. There's supposedly some fights on Triller tonight as well. So again, boxing is really putting things out there. It's just that you have to know where to look. This past Wednesday, we had a nice card on ProBox TV where we got a chance to see the young stud light heavyweight Najee Lopez as he went out there and performed. He came out with a unanimous decision of a fight that was a lot closer than the scorecards read. But those three fights that they showed Wednesday night, they were all worth checking out. So if you guys didn't check that out, ProBox TV, please go back to their Wednesday night broadcast. You can find it on YouTube. And let me tell you something. You're going to be entertained. Those were some darn good fights on Wednesday night. And you see, while we wait around for the bigger names in the sport to decide whether or not they're going to step up to the plate of competitive bouts, there are others who are still cutting their teeth in the sport and providing exactly what may be up your alley as far as your desires of what you'd like to see in the sport. So always look around, man. You don't have to wait on these guys. Some people have gotten frustrated and put the sport down and walked away and things of that nature, but you don't have to do that when you allow yourself to be more immersed into the sport with various weight classes, and divisions in the sport. when you're looking at some of the up and coming guys, or some of the guys who have been perennial contenders, former champions. They're still out there and they're still working hard and plugging away. And I'm telling you, when you start showing the eye and the support toward that, these apps, the promoters, they will recognize what's happening and where the eye of the supporters of the sport happens to be, and they will begin to make changes. That's why we've stated, some of us content creators, we remind you guys all the time, the keys are in your hand. You can do a lot more to change this sport than the fighters can themselves. Because at the end of the day, you tune in to their bouts, you buy the tickets, and that's where the power is. They can't make the purses if you aren't there to support and attend the venues. Bear that in mind always. Always. No Smoke says, I wish I was in Puerto Rico to watch Amanda live again. Hey man, she's one heck of a fighter, and she is really at the top of my list as an ambassador for the sport, for choices that she has made to represent in this sport, man. I mean, she's done a tremendous job leading by example. I only hope that some of the others will begin to take up that mantle and stop being a little bit selfish. Some, not all. That doesn't mean people have to take political stances, but when you support in unity for your craft, you make the people take note of you. So yeah, that's what that's about. Yeah. A lot of news come down the pipe this week as well for the sport. And we will see exactly what's what as the fights begin to shake themselves out. The most recent news that we've heard, of course, is what's going on with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. I may talk about them a little bit later, but as far as what's really happening in the sport, you know, there's so much. It appears that Tank Davis and Frank Martin are going to fight. That's a promotion that everybody's looking toward. But some people are not necessarily looking for that particular promotion. You know, it's about time that Tank faces a fighter that people would like to see him face. You know, that doesn't mean that he hasn't fought good fighters, but it really means that, you know, people are expecting him to face at least someone that you clamor for. And with his popularity, he can get that done easily. And Frank Martin is of the ilk that as long as fair play is at the hilt of what they do, he'll fight pretty much any challenge. So if these two do come together in the ring and Frank Martin prevails, you could see Frank in other big time fights because he's not bound to not step up. And that's important because, again, when you get people who lead by example, there are others who may be followers, right? Even though you don't realize that they're followers. But just watch what happens. They'll say, oh, I don't want to be perceived as a duck. I don't want to be perceived as a guy that doesn't accept challenges and so forth, and they will step forward and say, here am I. That's what we need in the sport of boxing. We need that very much. It's a strong need and necessity in the sport. Learn has come into the building. What's happening? Steph Brown says, be well, Stormy. And Yave No Smoke says, Sensei, I grew up in the hood for real. Ain't nobody telling me Ryan not doing coke. No way. And salute to the brother Steph Brown in that super chat coming out there saying, be well, Storms. Hit the like button, fam. God be with you. God be with you as well. Steph Brown, thank you for your donation this evening, man. We appreciate you, brother. Listen, man. I will talk about Garcia and Haney a little bit later in the show. I kind of want to kick this off by talking about some other, news that has come down the pipeline, simply because, listen, we could see what's happening with the Haney and Garcia promotion, huh? And all of that is not good. And it has absolutely nothing to do with Devin Haney, but everything to do with the opponent in that fight. You know what I mean? So just something to keep under your hat. But as I was saying about Tank Davis and Frank Martin, that's a fight that I hope does come through, because those two men will give us something that we really want to see in the sport. Competitiveness, there's going to be craft, there's going to be skill. And someone is going to have to pull it out. The challenges are very multiple in those two facing each other. So, yeah. Frank Martin had an opportunity with Shakur Stevenson, but something was awry about the deal, and it didn't go through. But we'll find out whether or not Shakur really wanted that match, or was it just one of those things where he was putting himself in a situation just to make a little noise. You know what I mean? So it's something to think about. I'm looking for something specific that I could put up on the screen for you guys this evening. So bear with me a moment as Stormy gets his files together here. Let's see here. Also, this morning I had a video on Martin Bacoli. You guys need to check that video out as well. Martin Bacoli. Yeah. trying to get this. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Let's see here. Here we go, here we go. I'm just putting an image together for you guys, that's all. Give me a moment. You guys missed Stormy's lives this week? Or were you glad that I took a break? I know sometimes people, they don't say certain things, but the response and behaviors be spot on. More revealing than you know. So just as you may have been a little bit tired of me, you can bet Stormy was tired of you too, huh? It ain't one way. How about that, huh? Yeah. You don't want to show that support. Let's see here. Trying to get this image together. That's too much. How about 20? That's too much. How about 10? Okay, 12. Okay, I'll go with 12. Close that down. I'm in the process of working on some new intros too for my videos and for some of my other live streams, man. You know, gotta upgrade and update some things. You'll just notice them when they're there. There won't be no announcements. What the hell, man? What the hell is this thing doing? Here we go. Sometimes the only reason I'm doing this right now is because I could have had it done before I went live, but I rested up until the last minute, y'all. I usually put my images and stuff in But I was like, you know what? I took every ounce of rest that I could before going live. That's all that was. You know, I was talking to my brother Drew Titan earlier about getting your rest when you can. Sometimes at the expense of other things that you know that you can get done or need to do. But it's nothing like as you get older in life, you know, get your rest, man. Time is the only thing that's not limitless, huh? Let's see here. 8. Get that rest, because you know what? When it's time for that eternal rest, then you're going to be wishing you could run around. It's going to be no choice. Lay down, sucker. I'm telling you. So get your rest while you can. Because that eternal rest. And it's going to be one time you're going to have to get up after that too. And that's when the Creator call you and say, hey, what was you doing? That's it. Right there. So no. Stormy telling the truth here. We got a couple more comments in here. Let me read those before I go forward. Hold on. I be saying stuff, man. Sometimes it just go over people's head. I don't know. No Smoke says that edited sparring session is a distraction. The Garcias are, Ryan is on drugs and very disrespectful. Absolutely, all of that. Learn says it's definitely competitive. Boxing News says Frank has offered $200K to fight Tank. Yeah. He says, since it's a chop session, did you see the Pro Box card on Wednesday? It was very good. Yeah, Learn, you came in. You know, you wasn't here at the at me going live, but I already made a mention of that. And I also made a recommendation that if there's anyone out there that did not see that card, I recommended that they go back and watch it, because the 3 fights that were broadcast Wednesday night were great fights to watch in the middle of a week. Pro Box TV, you could catch the replays on YouTube on their channel, Pro Box TV. Go check it out. Yeah. Anthony Bolton is in the building. What's good with you, Anthony? Good to see you out there. We got Flawless Mentality and Black Excellence, hosted by Dr. Mark, is in the building. And Learn says 100. Yeah, man. Yep. Let me see what I can do here. I can pull my other images up now that I've gotten. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah. I take my time doing this stuff, y'all. See, where else can you guys go and just listen to some boxing talk and have the host play this good music for you like this, huh? Stormybman got it going on with his music. I don't care what none of y'all say, huh? Better recognize. Yeah. Let me get this Davis versus Martin up here. See, when you listen to all that thumping and bumping, man, you know, some of those frequencies are not positive. You may think it is, but a lot of times it's more poisonous than you know. Yeah. You must be aware of that. Yep. Learn how to channel that, man. I'm just about done, you guys. Just about done. So all right. Now I'm in business. I got my images uploaded. So as we talk about this Tank Davis and Frank Martin thing, even if they did offer Frank only a few $100,000, he need to go ahead and take this deal, man, so he can get his name higher on the charts. And to go out there and defeat someone like Tank Davis, man, it will change your world overnight. You got to do it. It's important that guys don't miss the train, because this is not about winning the lotto, but it's about positioning yourself for greater considerations in the sport. And that's what he'll do with accepting a fight with Davis, winning a fight with Davis, and his oyster will definitely show pearls in the aftermath. Yeah. Learn says he's always loved the music. Yahweh says the jazz is banging. He says, this is my whole life. I've always hung around OGs, always learning something. That's right. Anthony Bolton says, salute to Dr. Mark. Steph Brown says, agree, Stormy. Take the fight, young man. Progression. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't sit around talking about, oh, I never got the chance, if you never, accept the invite to the dance. Huh? Yeah, bars. You see, I still got it. Listen, I want to see this fight. I want to see these two guys. I'm not picking a winner at this time. I'm just talking about the greater good that it would do for the sport to have these two young men get in there and go at it. They're roughly the same age. I think Tank might be a year older. 28, 29 years old, these two men. This is when they should be mixing it up. This is when they should be getting it on. It's a great deal of positivity in that. Great deal. Plus, it could be a breakout thing for Tank. Let's just say Tank is successful and he stops Martin or beats him in a close fought decision, but he pulls it out or something like that. He gets a little bit of that bad label that's kind of haunting him right now. That kind of, it washes it away a little bit. You see, because this is about peaks and valleys. You don't just run from the starter's gun to the finish line. Somewhere along the way, you might catch a flat. Somewhere along the way, you might need to hit the pit for a tune-up, something. But the overall objective is to be in the race, To be in the race. Because sometimes you win, and then sometimes you do not. But to having run the race, that's what's important. Yeah, so I want to see this, man. I really want to see it. Anthony Bolton says, my parents used to play jazz music when I was in the womb. Hey, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. I grew up in a household where my parents played Al Green and all that kind of stuff, man. It's like, so I like, music from older generations, even when I grew up on that and never lost my love for it. I picked up on jazz like in my early 20s, believe it or not, being in the gyms and stuff and listening to certain blues and stuff like that while in the boxing gym. I was like, man, I like this jazz. You know what I mean? We used to have a jazz station here in the Chicagoland area, WNUA. They used to play smooth jazz all the time. And they closed the radio station down, man. They left Chicago. It's like, oh my goodness. That was horrible. But I bought so many jazz CDs just from listening to that radio station, man. I just like to listen to it, I would love to play some on these airs in my videos, but of course, copyrights, They be tripping on that foolishness, man. And all it does is enhance the experience, that's all. But I'll be wondering, like, how do some of these YouTubers be playing licensed music and they don't get flagged, they don't get copyright strikes, they're allowed to get away with it. I'm like, man, what the hell? Stormy want to play him some jazz. Steph Brown says, right, so many variables in and out of this fight, Stormy. I love it. The styles and all around talented main event. Plus the temperament of the two men. They're like night and day, man, these two guys, their personalities. And that's not a negative thing. It's just that when you get fighters who are so differing, those sometimes are elements that are untabulated when it comes to who you may pick to win. And sometimes at the core of things, that would be exactly what you need to know about to assist with making a proper pick. Yeah. Anthony Bolton is like 100 with the Flames. Healer, the teacher, says jazz was once seen as weed smoking ninja music. And then them folks used to try to keep their kids from jazz musicians. Now it's refined, sophisticated music. Learn says there is a way to do it. People review full episodes of shows. They use like a dim mini window and talk over the video the entire time. No. Listen. My Beats with Sugar show, isn't that what the Underrated Darkness and I do? We talk over the music, we play it, we have it, sometimes we put a little image up on the box in the window and stuff. They still, like my last show, they took it down. They blocked it. So I'm trying to figure that out still. That's why I don't do Beats with Sugar that often, because it's like hit and miss. There are some shows that I did that they didn't do that to, and then there are other shows that they block right away. And some of those shows that they block were darn good shows. That last show Healer and I did was, not Healer, Underrated Darkness and I did. That was a darn good show. People were so overwhelmingly in good moods after that show, and they blocked the show, man. They blocked it. And all that show is a homage to the artists that we cover in each episode. That's all it is. Nobody's trying to make money off of it. I didn't even monetize the video. They still blocked it. But I see people every day with content up. They play movies. They play all kinds of stuff. Trailers. When I do my little kung fu movie joint, sometimes I can't show the trailers of the films, even though I want to. That's why I show still images and I make the images animated. Because if I do that, instead of playing an actual trailer or something, it doesn't get copyright. I play a trailer, oh, you can't monetize this. The money is going to go to the owner of the... It just pisses me off, man, because when I do what I do here, it's with a creative process. It's not me just, I'm not going to get rich doing this. I'm not. But I'm just trying to put out some, like I always say, quality content. And here they come fooling with me. They've gone back into my archives, man, and found old videos. Some of them 2-3 years old. And they're saying that the license-free music that I used on some of those intros, like, oh no, it's no longer license-free. You got to change that music or mute it, or it can't be monetized. Something from 3 years ago that was license-free, and y'all done switched it to not license-free anymore, but my content was created 3 years ago when it was license-free. So you're gonna penalize me for that? I could see if I was trying to use it today, but those videos were put up already 3 years ago. And you're trying to demonetize, even though that may be stuff that I had already, if it was going to get views and money, it would have processed already, right? Unless there's a newfound person to my channel and they go back in the archives and they see that, oh, I like this, and they start watching and sharing. But why can that not be grandfathered in from the date that you made it license free to the date that it's no longer license free? Anything made prior to the date that it's no longer license free should be free game. Anything after that, it's like, oh, no, you can't use it. They play with us out here too much, man. I guess that's one of the reasons that we have to do more new intros and stuff like that, because, otherwise it's not cool. No Smoke says Facebook does the same thing. They go years back. Pathetic. They have to be paying someone to do that. It's a lot of work. Yeah, and you know what? When they do mine, No Smoke, it's always somewhere between 2 to 5 in the morning because I get the email notification. This video cannot be monetized. I'm like, who the hell is sitting up at between 3 and 5 in the morning looking over my videos and trying to find the music that's no longer license free? And they done went back because that stuff is old. Somebody that's trying to squash somebody who's growing, meaning myself. But I'm growing slowly. My growth pattern has been very consistently going up slowly like a ladder. I haven't had anything go viral or anything like that, but it's a steady climb. You got some people who have went from 0 to 100 in a couple of months. But they won't get rid of these doggone trolls that be coming to your channel and stuff. These racist folks that come to your channel and they call you names and, you know, animals and stuff like that. They don't go after them. And you send letters to them and everything. And these people are able to make several accounts and stuff like that and be cyberbullying and all of that. They ain't got no time for that though. There's nobody available to talk to for that kind of stuff. What kind of foolishness is that, man? It's enough to really just make you angry, man. It truly is. Let's talk about tomorrow night's other fight that's broadcast on ESPN. It's a featherweight doubleheader, man. This right here could be a fight card of the year candidate if the matches turn out the way I'm hoping that they do. You see, in these two matches, you have the type of fights that are going to really provide the people with action. Let me get this off my screen and go champions here. In the main event, you have Luis Alberto Lopez. He's going to be taking on Raya Abe from Japan. Now, some of you may recognize Luis Alberto Lopez for his last 3 fights that began with a 2022, December of 2022 victory majority decision over Josh Warrington. This fight right here was one of the candidates of Fight of the Year. Warrington tried most of his dirty tactics, the headbutts and the elbows. But Lopez, who's a power punching featherweight, an orthodox fighter, but he was able to take the fight away from Warrington. Majority decision that he won over there in the UK. Excellent fight. He followed that up with a stoppage over Mike Conlan. Knocked Mike Conlan cold, people. And Conlan, they thought, was a shoe-in to win a title, but Lopez had other plans. And then his unanimous decision victory in September of last year over Joet Gonzalez. Hey. So now he's taking on Abe, whose last fight was a unanimous decision win over Kiko Martinez. And these two men are both 30 years of age. Now Lopez, who is kind of slight in his height, he's only 5'4", but he can punch. And Abe, who's a southpaw, he's 5'7.5". This is going to be a good fight. The Japanese fighters have a tendency to not show a retreat mode. They will fight and move forward until they get stopped or something. But if Abe disrespects Lopez's power, he will go to sleep. Because Lopez, although he's an orthodox positioned fighter, he's very unorthodox how he delivers his shots. Sometimes he keeps the hands low and he wings and leaps in with shots, a lot like in the past I've talked about Prince Nassim. It's similar. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of patterned himself after the Prince. But he doesn't do the showboating tactics, but it's just how he punches. It's like you can never tell where his shots are going to come from in certain instances, and you have to be careful because he can hit hard. And so if you fall asleep, and next thing you know, he might look like he's dipping over and he whack, come out of nowhere like he did against Conlan and take your head off. So, you know, that's the thing, you know. But these two men, that's the main event. But the main name on the card is Raymond Ford. And he'll be taking on this guy. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting situation. He's taking on Oktarbek Kolmatov from Kazakhstan. Now, these two men, they came in today for their weigh-ins. Oktarbek weighed 125.8. Ford weighed 125.9. And we got a fight. This will be for the WBA featherweight title. The Luis Alberto Lopez Ray Abe fight is for the IBF featherweight title. So there's a chance that later in the year a unification could take place between the WBA and the IBF because they're on top rank. Now the following week, March 8th on the DAZN pay-per-view, Ray Vargas is taking on Nick Ball for the WBC featherweight title. So, you know, just in a matter of 2 weeks, you got 3 of the featherweight titles being contested in 3 different fights. So something is aligning here, people. And I'm telling you, don't miss this Ray Ford Kolmatov fight. I think there's going to be a stoppage in this fight. No Spoke says, you got the right to be angry. After all, it takes work to do content. Yes, it does, man. Time, effort, and labor. Yeah, it does. Steph Brown thinks that the matchups in this top-ranked card should be a classic. Yep. He said that's a heck of a championship run thus far in Lopez. Yeah, man. I liken Lopez's run presently like that of O'Shaquie Foster's run. You know, O'Shaquie has had 3 good fights in a row, man. And people are not talking about him enough. I've been talking about him. I've done videos on him and everything. But see, this is one of the things that you could tell about these content creators out here who are like, they want to get on the bandwagon, huh? When something catches fire. But see, I watch the fighters, so this is why I can make the assessments that I make, because I study them, and it's like I don't know everybody, and I'm not trying to imply that I do. However, I do put the work in of trying to check people out. Even when there have been brothers that come to me and say, hey, Stormy, you know about this guy? And I say, no, let me look into him, because I don't know everything. But at the same time, when I look into some of these fighters and I say, uh-oh, this guy bears watching, you see? And next thing you know, you got something worth talking about. That's just like if you go to my main page of my channel, presently, you will see the videos that I have coming up. Tomorrow morning, it's the Ford Kolmatov breakdown. Monday morning, it's a video on Oscar Valdez, who's no longer ashamed and embarrassed by his loss to Emmanuel Navarrete. He was dealing with some demons after that loss to Navarrete. But see, this is what I do. I talk about various subjects. Now, some people you will see that I've talked about kind of regular because it's pertinent to the news in boxing. But I talked about Zhilei Zhang vowing to make Joseph Parker reconsider life in their fight coming up March 8th. Subriel Matias, I talked about that brother. I talked about Berlanga and his win over McCrory. I talked about Andy Cruz. I even talked about Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall getting their act together to come back to face one another finally in a rematch. But these are, you see some of these content creators is like Tank Davis, Devin Haney. It's like Shakur. It's like, my goodness, there's like hundreds of other fighters to talk about, man. Hundreds. That Martin Bacoli video I did this morning. That guy, do you know he's knocked out several of the top UK guys in sparring? I don't list names, but it's out there. Some of them have fought recently on major cards. He's got 1 loss on his record, and people don't want to fight him. And quiet as it's kept, the UK have taken over the heavyweight division. It's like these American fighters are trash, man. They don't want to fight. They want to talk junk and be on Twitter and X and Instagram. Where's Anderson at? Where's Effie Ajaba at? And Effie Ajaba is not American, but I'm just saying, it's like these guys are supposed to be based in America. They're not even fighting each other. Why haven't they fought each other? Frank Sanchez, what are you doing? But these UK fighters are getting it on. And I'm talking about them. I got a video coming up about Fabio Wardley and Big Fraze Clark. Got a video coming up about those two guys who will be fighting, I think, on the 31st of March. Yeah. Got to talk about these fighters, man. No, Steph Brown, there are good fighters out there. But guess what? There are no good American fighters out there, bro. See, that's the difference. And listen, this is what I'm saying right now. Pay attention to what Stormybman says, bro. I don't talk about those that don't need to be talked about. I'm talking about what's happening. I ain't talking about guys sitting around with their comfort pets and these guys that don't want to sit up and face nobody and all of this and all of the tough talk in social media. It don't mean a darn thing. What means something is when you're in the ring competing and UK fighters are facing one another. We just had a great fight in the light heavyweight division just a few weeks back when Joshua Buatsi took on Dan Aziz. Two good fighters, up and coming light heavyweights, friends at that, known each other since the amateurs, come up in the gyms together, trained and sparred hundreds of rounds with each other, and they fought for the right to be able to challenge the winner of Bivol and Bitterbeef at some point later this year. They didn't sit up talking about, well, he's my friend, he's my buddy, I can't fight my buddy. You know, no, they got in there and they competed and somebody won. It ended up being Joshua Buatsi. But these men, they have enough competitive nature to try to be the best in the sport, and they have enough respect for one another as friends that they can make a solid dollar by facing each other. And at some point, they might face each other again down the line. Who knows? But they're doing it. What are these American fighters doing, man? What are they doing? Posturing. Walking around with men's purses and getting their fingernails painted and capri pants and all of this stuff. I've been talking about this, but you guys are so stubborn, you don't want to listen to the truth. But all you got to do is look in the mirror, because if you look in the mirror, you see the person that's holding them to this standard and saying it's okay. Let a brother shine. No. You let the women shine. You talking about a man shining? Why is Shakur Stevenson not fighting Keyshawn Davis and Raymond Ford and those kind of guys? Well, Ford is a little smaller. I understand that now. But these guys are, oh, that's my boy. That's my friend. My mans. You know what? Back in the day, there was no my mans. Salute to the brother Eric Jordan out there with that super sticker, man. We appreciate you, Eric Jordan. Thank you, man. See, I'm going to tell you something. You ain't going to hear this nowhere else, but you're going to hear it from Stormybman, and people can get mad all they want to. The country has turned soft, y'all. From head to toe. All this focus on being trans and all of this, you know, alphabet communities and stuff like that. Stuff that's really don't got nothing to do with your everyday lives. But people want to focus on themselves. It's like the Bible say, men will become lovers of self. That's what it has become. And so you can't get the job done because you too busy wondering about your close-up or your selfie. How does my hair look? Is my braids lined up properly? All that foolishness. Men don't want to be men. Women don't want to be women. The roles are reversed. And then they're mad at each other. And it is matriculated down into our sports. It's matriculated down into this boxing. Look at the women's boxing. The women are getting it done. Amanda Serrano, I said, which I will be talking about her in a few minutes. Standing on principle, gave up the WBC belt, told Mauricio Suleiman, shove it. You don't want to support women's boxing being progressive for 12 3-minute rounds for the championship fights? Well, I don't want to carry your trinket. But Mauricio will allow Canelo to hold a WBC title from a man who was stripped on the scales and never lost it in the ring, and make him be a number one contender and fight countless eliminators for the same WBC title for 3 years. And he's trying to convince the Olympic Committee that he can assist them with straightening out boxing for the amateurs. If you don't get all the way the hell up out of here with that BS. And the guy can walk around and he's going from platform to platform. And I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. I want to fight that guy that's got mental problems. I want to fight that guy that doesn't have any championship experience. I want to fight that guy who's only just coming out of a prospect stage. What the hell is that? That's fraudulent. You're cheating the people. And you're cheating contending fighters. You got 4 belts, but they're a top 10 under the champion. And you ain't trying to fight a damn fighter in the top 10. What the hell is that? And the sanctioning bodies keep having these damn eliminators. Well, the winner of this eliminator will be mandated. No, you're just making money off of these guys. And they don't never get the damn title shot. In the meantime, Canelo is raking in 30, 40, 50, 60 million a pop fighting freaking nobodies. And it's not that the men are nobody. It's nobody that the fans want to see him fight. And if you're talking about those guys who love his smelly ass draws, those are not real fans. Those are not supporters of the sport. Because supporters of the sport are the ones who will attend a fight like they did on Wednesday night on Pro Box TV, watching those young men go down in the record books for stellar fights and performances. That's who the eyes should be on. Do you know that Canelo was angry with PBC because they wouldn't make a mandate for him to be able to fight Jamal Charlo? Jamal Charlo is in absolute no condition to fight at this time. Does anybody care about that? You've seen that man. He is not fit for the ring. And he's got the nerve to tell these people it's him or nobody. Especially when they said, well, how about this other guy, but we got to have Benavidez at the end of the deal. He walked away. Because he's going to have to earn the pay. But see, just like someone said earlier in the chat, Frank Martin might get a couple $100,000 to face Tank. We know that Tank is going to have a guarantee of at least what, $5 million or more, right? Why can't you give this guy $1.5 million or $2 million? Why you got to take so much of the bulk of the money like a greedy ass pig? You don't want someone else to come up? You ain't going to be on top forever your damn self. And you know that the way that these guys live, they can't keep the money. Salute to the brother Steph Brown with that super chat. He says, come on, Bishop. These things that I'm saying, other people have said it too. They've just articulated it in different ways. But the whole point of it is that I recognize what's going on out here, man. But I can still find time to talk about people that need to be spoken of. Like I'm speaking on this card this weekend. These two cards. Lopez and Abe are fighting IBF featherweight title. Lopez weighed in today at 125.3. Abe weighed in at 125.8. Listen, we got a fight. And in that fight, it's going to probably be a knockout. Jimmy Bernard, what's happening with you, bro? I haven't said anything that you guys haven't heard before, man. Imagine if we were getting the fights that we like to see. The sport would be the number one sport. There are so many great fights to be made. Multiple fight matchups in multiple divisions across the board in boxing. And these guys are just stalling us out, man, stalling us out. And it used to be the thing where they say, let fights marinate. Dude, they're not even letting fights cook. They're not letting them marinate. They're not letting them saute. They're not letting them do anything. There is no movement. Do you hear me? No movement. And then you have certain individuals that are commanding such a lion's share that nobody even wants to fight the guy for the peanuts that they're offering. But why does one guy get to get $50 million and the other guy can't barely make $1 million? Are you kidding me? What makes that SOB worth $50 million? What? Is that money being funneled in through cartels or something? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's rough, man, thinking about this foolishness. It's rough. Yeah, Jimmy Bernard, that's why I said that. Put something on your mind. Let me move on to the ladies, man. From San Juan, Puerto Rico, there have been a number of classic fights held in San Juan, Puerto Rico, man. History is full of tremendous fights held there. And it will be no different when Amanda Serrano takes on Nina, the Brave, Mienke. They had the weigh-ins for the ladies today. Featherweight, this is the unified featherweight titles of the WBA, IBF, and WBO. Amanda weighed in at 125.6. Nina weighed in at 125.2. Jake Paul, who will be fighting in the co-main, he's taking on Ryan Berland. They both weighed in at the cruiserweight limit. This will be on DAZN. This fight is serving a dual purpose. Not only is Amanda going out there and she's defending her world title, but to fight in front of her country people in Puerto Rico, to look at them as, you know, being able to have a chance to enjoy her during her title run is historic for her. Yeah. Serrano is known as a puncher too, man. She may get Mienke out of there. She's definitely a fighter who goes for it. And now that she's going to have an extra minute per round to work her magic and 2 rounds added on to the limit, I expect her to beat this girl down. I wonder if she's going to fight that rematch with Katie Taylor. Is she going to be able to get Katie to agree to 12 3-minute rounds? I doubt it. And Katie has moved up beyond that weight. And Amanda had moved up to face Katie in their previous fight. So I don't think she's going to go up another weight class to chase Katie down. So I don't know. But these ladies, I expect them to put something on. And listen, man, just because they're ladies, that doesn't mean this is not going to be a good scrap, okay? Mienke is from Germany, so she's a hot-blooded southpaw fighter. And Amanda is a southpaw, and she's fighting in her home place of Puerto Rico, so there's going to be fire there. This is probably going to be a hot fight of the evening, I'm telling you. All due respect, it's okay. Amanda's 35. Mienke is 30. They gonna go at it, man. They gonna go at it. Universal Truth, what's good with you? I think that this fight, the Raymond Ford fight, and the Luis Alberto Lopez fight, I think those 3 fights are 3 knockout dynamite fights for the weekend. I mean, I'm expecting to see something with these matches, y'all. For the Lopez fight, Raya Abe is looking to become Japan's 100th world champion in that fight. So he's got a legacy ahead of him that he wants to attach himself to. So he's going to fight with a little extra something, you know what I'm saying? Boy, I tell you, you can't gauge this stuff easily, man. You cannot. Salute to Tay Tay, the real queen of MMA. What's happening? She said, salute Master Sifu with that super chat. Appreciate you, Tay Tay. Universal says, looking forward to this fight. Told some of my friends to check out the channel and see what they're missing. Hey, Universal, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my breakdown videos are up already for the fights. Don't sleep on Octobek versus Raymond, though. Don't sleep on that, guys, please. If you got to put your, what do they call it? Your recorder on to record the TV, to record the show, make sure you do it, because there's going to be some good stuff going down here. Some good stuff. Octobek said, it's been my dream to fight for a world title. I've been training my whole life for this. I'm ready. I love to fight. That's all I've done in my life. So I'm going to bring the fight on Saturday. Raymond Ford said, this means the world to me. I've been fighting my whole life for this opportunity. It's finally here, and I'm going to take full advantage of it. I'm willing to stay for one more fight at 126 if it's to defend against a champion or a big money fight, if it makes sense. I'm definitely here for it, but it has to be right away. If not, I'm moving up to 130. If you notice, I put the Haney and Garcia two press conferences off to the very end here, because these two guys, I'm sorry, I'm not really motivated by what I've seen from them. And it has nothing to do with Devin Haney. It has everything to do with Ryan Garcia and how he's been behaving. I know that Golden Boy introduced another possible fighter who will be on standby if something happens in the late hour. Whether Ryan pulls out, fakes an injury, or whatever the case may be, find himself mentally unfit. All of the above are likely to happen with this kid before this promotion is to take place. So I'm looking forward to Devin Haney getting in the ring, but it very well may not have be against Garcia. I'm not a fan of what I heard out of his own mouth about professing to have been indulging. And that's even more reason to not throw any line of support behind someone like that. Would you want to pay your hard-earned cash to go to a concert, a sporting venue, this particular sporting outing, and know that the performer that you've paid to see has admittedly been over and indulging and is proudly saying so, like it's no big deal? How can you expect the best out of someone that's doing that? You can't. And if there are underlying problems that are deeper, then the ring is not where he needs to be. Getting punched upside the head is not what he needs. Did you not just hear me speak on Jamal Charlo? These things are evident. You can't have people out here who are dealing with or not dealing with their personal issues, and then we we're paying full price for someone who's not even half there. And mind you, this is not Devin Haney's fault. If Tank Davis has stepped up to the plate, they would be having a super fight. If Shakur Stevenson has stepped up to the plate, they would be having a super fight. Dude, this is ridiculous. Mind of Mansa Musa, what's happening? We're going to hear from my man, the Focus Ball. See what he's got to say.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah. Better get you some of that Stormybman merchandise, man, while you can. Huh? Everything ain't gonna always be here. I can guarantee you that. There is a limit. Huh? Derek, excuse me, I said Derek. Eric Jordan is asking about the Haney and Tank Davis sparring video. Eric Jordan, I want to ask you a question. I'm answering your question with the question. Did that sparring count toward either of their records? My second question is, if Haney was still a teenager at the time of that, but Tank was still a grown man, what significance would that have outside of letting you know how good Devin was when he was a teenager, but he is now a young man himself? Think about it, and you can come to your own conclusions. Because as much advisement, mentorship, and offering that Stormybman seemingly puts out is still not appreciated enough to me to give a response to that when you kind of already know yourself. It's almost like you want to hear me say something, so you may be able to take what Stormy says and run with it, but you don't run with what else that should be of substance. Think about that. Almost 100 views to this show tonight, but only 26 likes. I talk about this all the time. But only 26 people found it worth their time. But almost 100 did not. This world is truly ass backwards. Salute to the mighty LDBC.
What do you think of me, girls?
As good as any white man.